Today we're diving into a topic that's not just about lesson plans and textbooks and homeschooling. It is actually about the soul of your homeschool. I know that sounds very maybe woo-woo, but look guys, without having a true emotion around a connection to why you're doing what you're doing, and without it being clear why you're doing, what you're working towards, not just the surface level stuff, but the real true what you want to get out of your days with your kids, what you want them to get out of this process. Like, without a plan, you're going to be roller coastering your way around. And I know this because that's what I did, and it doesn't feel good. And you often fall into the trap of, supplementing with lots and lots of different purchases and random things that you're adding in to make life better, but really you're just making more chaos. And I guess that's the thing, right? This is why I've called this series Chaos to Calm, because when you don't have a common goal that your family is working towards, that we're all on the same page with, it does feel quite chaotic, because we are just all adding things because they sound good and they feel good and at the time, but we don't really think things through. When we have a set, clear vision of what kind of life we want, well, that changes things. That means everything is measurable against that vision. And if it doesn't tick those boxes, then it doesn't enter you into your homeschool. All of a sudden you're saving money, you're saving time, you're saving stress, and everyone understands why. I'm sharing my thoughts today on how I do think that is possible, and the process in which I have taken to achieve that in my own homeschool, and the steps that you can take today in order to start working towards having that kind of outcome in your homeschool too. Hey there, my name is Tiffany. This is Hinge Life Homeschool. This channel is all about mindset, homeschooling, and organization. Hey, just checking, have you subscribed yet? Because if you haven't hit the bell, you won't get notifications for the next couple of videos. And this is actually part of a series that I'm creating, and this is the second video to a series called Chaos to Calm in Your Homeschool. So if you're interested in what I have to say, make sure that you have subscribed and you have hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss any of these videos. I think you'll agree that we want this homeschooling journey to be a meaningful and purposeful experience for all of us. So we get to the end of that experience, however long we intend on homeschooling for, we get to that point and we can look back and feel like we've really achieved big things. And often that's not really like grades and scoring and all of that kind of stuff, or like even higher education acceptance and all of that kind of stuff. Like that will come if the child is motivated, if the child has had the chance to, really investigate what they're interested in and their love for whatever it is that they're focusing on. That intrinsically works its way in if you're hitting the bigger goals of, connection with your kids, understanding what lights them up on a daily basis and what keeps them engaged, and how to do all those things. And that is what I ultimately believe to be the key in creating the most meaningful homeschooling experience. And because we have these really big hopes and dreams for our kids, and we really truly believe that the sky is the limit, especially with homeschooling, they can do so many courses or so many like extracurriculars, and they have all day, all this extra time, and we are so efficient with the main things like English, language arts, and maths and science, and all of those things are done so quickly. We're so efficient with that because they have that one-on-one help and assistance, and we think we can kind of put more into the day, and we absolutely can, and we do, right? But there gets to a point where we're just adding things for the sake of adding things. And this is where the vision the goal setting and all of that kind of stuff comes into play, and how it can be so powerful if you've spent the time to really think through your why you homeschooling. What are you trying to achieve with your kids? What do your kids want to get out of homeschooling? And that will change year to year. And obviously that's a question for only older children. I mean, you can definitely include the younger children. It may change yearly as well. And it's really important to include them in that process. And that's what I have done over the years. Quite early on, I started doing these little interview processes, end of term type of interviews, and fun coffee chats, and we'd go to a coffee shop and they'd, sit very maturely in their seats, and it would be very formal, and we would be talking about what we want to learn, what we're interested in, and I even have a little printable for that. And it is so special, and it's so beautiful, and it really allows them to have that sense of control over where their time is going. And for my kids, that is a huge thing. Their time is important and it needs to be respected, just like my time is important and needs to be respected. And we all want to be doing as many things that we love with our time. And children are no different. And if we show them that we do respect, to a degree, we respect their time, and we want them to enjoy what they're spending their time on. It really does kind of change their mindset around school and exactly what we see as non-negotiables and what we see as things that really need to be done. And they see that as important as well, because they understand, they know that we care about where their time is going and their interests, and we try and incorporate that, and we can try and include them into the decision making in a lot of things as well. This is one of the many, many reasons why I think it's so important to have a clear vision in your homeschool, and to have that be across the board, that everybody knows. And you can have your own vision where it's more personal and you keep that close to your heart. And then you can have a family vision as well, where it's something that, you even put up as, something on the wall or whatever it is. It's your mantra. It's something that you come back to, so that before you purchase anything, that is what is going through. And if it's, ticking the goals that you've created to achieve that, to work towards that vision this year, that is your process, right? You have a process now. You have boundaries around things that are coming into your home, because it's only things that are going to get you one step closer or a couple of steps closer to creating that vision for your life. And I say life because I really do think that homeschooling is a lifestyle, and it is kind of all-encompassing. And I think that when we're looking at it as a separate thing, it can be, that's when we kind of tend to go a little bit wrong, because it really can't be. We still need to have all of our, duties, our house duties, our other work duties to support homeschooling. Often, in this kind of time, it's pretty hard to be a one income family. And often we are juggling work as well as homeschooling, and that adds a whole nother level of, pressure, really, to be frank. So I think it is more important than ever to have everybody on the same page. Of course, younger kids, that is a bit harder. But for, slightly older kids, we can all start to respect each other's time a little bit more, and how we can get the most out of our days. And I'm not just talking about productivity here. I'm talking about, understanding what's important and focusing on that first, and then whatever else gets done is a bonus. And that looks different for everybody. That looks different for everybody. My perfect day is not going to be your perfect day. And that is just how it works. And that's why this is so hard. This is why people struggle so much, because often we will watch a video and go, she's got it right. I'm just going to copy exactly what she does, and then I'm going to apply it to me, and then wonder why it doesn't work that way. it really is important to understand that this process is something that only you and your family can go through and figure out. And you might not get it right the first time round, but that's okay, because you'll know that you didn't get it right. And then you can learn from that and keep trying and look at what you did get right, and adjust accordingly, and just keep going, because it'll get better and better the more you focus on it. Just understanding the fundamentals of that clear vision of what you want to achieve in your homeschool. What do you want your kids to remember? Now, I have actually made a printable, a pack for you to print out and to work through this entire process. And I'm asking the hard questions in it, and you're going to feel uncomfortable at first. It's going to be hard. So this is the perfect time to be doing this kind of thing, because you are, taking a bit of time off over Christmas and thinking about the new year. This is the perfect time to have a fresh start. Even if it's not the beginning of your school year, you can still make these changes and still realign everything, and take some stuff out of your workload and add some different things in if that's what you are called to do. And you will know exactly why you're doing it and why you should be doing it. And that's a powerful thing. So I encourage you to go into the description box below and find the printable, totally free. It's just something that I really, really would love for you to work through. It makes such a difference when you have something to just kind of guide you on this process. It's not an easy process. I've been working through this for years and years to kind of refine and get to the really good stuff. And I don't want you to have to do that. I want you to be able to just get into the good stuff sooner rather than later, and enjoy homeschooling sooner. There are 3 mistakes that people often make when they're trying to create a vision, a mission statement, or whatever you want to call it. So the first mistake people often make when they're trying to kind of go through this process is they rush the process. They go straight to just creating goals for their homeschool without actually thinking or putting any processes in place to contemplate what the end game is. What kind of humans are we trying to, mold here, or influence and mentor and all of those kinds of things? What are we trying to achieve here? If we're not thinking about that before we start making goals, we're just making goals. We're making a wish list. We're making something that doesn't really have a whole lot of depth to it. We're just going, okay, I want such and such to know all their times tables. I want such and such to be able to do this. And what grounds do we have to be making? Yes, we need to be making educational goals, as well as developmental goals, as well as life skill goals, all of the things. I think that all of them are important, and you need to understand that by thinking about the vision, you know which priority they need to take. The second mistake people can make is that they only focus on their vision, their version of what they want, they foresee for their family, and don't take into account their kids' vision. So our kids have hopes and dreams, and if you don't know what that is, then you need to spend some time on that with them. And they may say, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And that's totally okay. That's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about here is, what are you interested in most? What do you want to spend time on next year? If you could have one thing happen in your life, what would it be? Those kinds of questions can really help to get kids out thinking about the process of who they are. And ultimately, that is the big key here. I think we want our kids to know who they are, without a doubt, and how they want to live their lives. And if we can, I think there is so much power in that, because if we can encourage them to really investigate all of the options, all of the things that they could possibly be interested in, and enjoy learning that, not only are we creating amazing lifelong learners as adults, we're creating like out of the box thinkers, we're creating critical thinkers. The third mistake that people can make is that they're too literal with their vision or their goals. So we don't want to have closed off, such and such will do this, or for a goal we're going to have such and such is going to know all of their times tables by the end of the year. Like we don't want to be pigeonholing anything or anyone, and we don't want to be creating closed goals, and we certainly don't want to be assuming anything when we're creating our vision. It's more about a feeling of what I want my homeschool to feel like. So in the Printable, there'll be lots of these kinds of questions. It will guide you through, and just remember to, if you feel filling this in, don't be so direct with the answers. You can be just hopeful, or open-minded with it, because I think that will allow you as the home educator to kind of, your mindset, like we all influence our kids to a degree with our own kind of biases, like our own vision and things like that. And what I'm trying to say is that sometimes that can influence our kids to answer things accordingly, just to impress us, or just because they think that's what we want to hear. And that is just something that I've noticed as my kids have gotten older, that I have to be very careful to be very neutral when I ask questions. And I think that it makes them feel way more free to answer more freely, is what I'm trying to say. And I think that's really important, because we obviously want to get to know our kids as best as we can. And if we're asking questions that are kind of assuming a kind of answer, then we're not really getting to what is going on with them, are we? And I think that if they felt a bit more free to speak exactly how they feel, that will only lead to a way more better plan for them, a way more dedicated, customized education. And that's what we want, because we want them, as they become adults, to get to the good stuff sooner. We want them to know who they are, to not have that hang up of, just all the things that we've carried. Maybe I might be speaking for myself here, but just the things that I've had to unlearn now as an adult with children, and not be able to kind of go back in time and enjoy things that I could have enjoyed and I missed because I lost a big part of my childhood. I think that those are the kinds of things that are really important to me. And that might not be something that you have been exposed to, and it's not on your radar, and it doesn't really apply to you, and that's totally okay as well. That's why this is so, like I've said, this is a really difficult thing to talk about. And I just can't stress enough that my answers, my vision is not your vision, and it's not your answers. It's not something to follow or copy. It is absolutely something that, and that's why I'm not giving you like a set, this is what I've done and you copy me. And that's why I have created something that questions you in a way, and I'm giving you the mistakes that I think people make and that I have made in the past as well, and to help you kind of go in knowing, well, I definitely don't want to be doing those kinds of things, and have a direction to go with. Okay, so we've talked a lot about like mistakes that you can make in your planning and your vision and goal setting, and actually like give you a couple of examples of the benefits of having a clear vision, because there are just, it's honestly endless. I think the biggest thing is that you just know without a doubt that you're heading in the right direction because you've really thought that through. And that gives, when you're communicating to other people about what you're spending your time on and what you're doing, you're not, sometimes you hear people talk and they're ending in a question with their answer, and often that can happen when they're feeling kind of like they need the validation. They're like, yeah, we're good. We're spending a lot of time on this. And kind of, that's kind of what I think about when I think of how I talk and I'm not feeling super confident what I'm talking about. It can often come off as my answers as questions, and I'm looking for that validation from the other person that I'm speaking to. We don't want to be looking for validation from other people in our homeschool. It's nice. Yeah, 100%. It's nice to have people agree with what we're doing, but we don't need it in order to keep going or to feel like it's the right thing to do. We really need to be able to have our own confidence in why we're doing what we're doing and what we're teaching and what we're choosing to spend our time on. And the only way that you can do that is by doing this process. And you don't have to follow my process. Just go down that rabbit hole and figure it out and spend the time, because it is worthwhile. And I'm just simply giving you the prompt and offering you an option. And that is completely up to you whether you take that, and you could take that and make it your own. You're more than welcome to do that. But I think it's just important to start the conversation and to start talking with your family. Include everybody in the family. Anyone that is in your close proximity, in your home. Anyone that's in your home should be part of the plan, so they understand why you're doing what you're doing, and agreeing with that, and talking that through is incredibly important. Have everyone on the same page, and it'll feel like you're working together as a team, rather than you're here, everyone else is here, you're barking orders, and everyone's feeling like, well, why do we have to do this? Why is this important? I don't understand why we're doing this. And you already know the conversation has been had, and you're working on getting to that journey, like going through that journey and getting to that outcome that you want. And like I said, that will evolve. Don't think that it's going to be like, oh, cool, we're going to get there, and in such and such amount of time, this will be what our life is like. That's not really how things work. In my experience, it just continually evolves, and the goal continually just changes. And if I thought about the vision that I had a few years ago for my homeschool, it would be very different to what it is today, because we do evolve as people and we learn things. The point is that this vision is just working towards something that is more of a feeling, and it's more of a just a way of existing. And I think that is way more powerful than an actual set picture in our heads of what perfect looks like. It's especially powerful to have that clear vision and those goals when you have people in your life that constantly criticize or question your choices for homeschooling, or you have friends or situations where it's often brought into question of, are you doing enough, or are you even teaching these kids? And they're quizzing your kids and doing all that kind of stuff. It really, really does feel very different when you've thought through exactly what you're doing and you've got a plan. You don't need any of that. And you can humor them, you can answer their questions, or you can choose not to. And it does definitely change your mindset of how people treat you, and allows you to create some healthy boundaries with those kinds of people that are questioning. And that is definitely a huge benefit to having a clear vision of your homeschool. So please go ahead and download that printable. You will be able to go through the process and start the conversations today to have that clear vision for your homeschool. And next week, I'm going to be showing you through the goals and how to set those goals in a way that honor your children and make it fun to work towards, and how I'm going to talk you through some of the big mistakes that you can make with goal setting. Because if you have created goals in the past and it's been a bad experience, you know what I mean. There can definitely goal setting can be a dangerous game if you are doing it in a way that is just black and white and it's not open-ended, and I will talk you through all of those things as well. I think we've covered enough today. Let's just take small steps towards this clarity homeschool that we're chasing. If you found this video helpful, please let me know. Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing from you. It is just such a great thing to start the conversation of, you know, getting some clarity in your homeschool and feeling that freedom that comes with knowing that you're on the path that you want to be on, and that you feel that fire in your belly to continue working, because this gig is pretty tough at times, and I think that this is something that can be quite isolating. So this is a way to create that kind of group working towards the common goal, and that really does make for a closer family as well. So please let me know your thoughts and how, if you've done this kind of thing before, what works for you, help others. This is not a, you know, follow my rules, and there's lots of different ways to achieve this outcome. This is just my way of sharing and contributing to that conversation as well. So thank you for listening, and if you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel, but it also lets me know that I'm on the right path to creating great videos for you that are helpful and that you enjoy. So let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.